Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, like I mentioned in the last few videos, this is, the second Halloween themed series playlist that I'm working on. But just to remind you guys, as I've mentioned before, there's another Halloween playlist series that I worked on a couple years back that I go in, like in some of the later videos, I go into detail at great length over like a few different videos about Bobby Mackey's Music World over in Wilder. So I'm not going to flog a dead horse, no pun intended, over that, but like what went on in Bobby Mackey's and everything. But I am going to talk about some things to do with the Ghost Adventures crew that Zach, Nick, and Aaron that I mentioned in the last video when they were in the area. But I also have to tie it in with my movie reviewer page, because what it is I've had somebody there that has been emailing me in that channel asking questions from me about Bobby Mackey's and of course Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Well, Waverly Hills Sanatorium is in Louisville, Kentucky, which is by car for me here in Cold Spring. They're about an hour and a half approximately south and west of us, because you have to keep in mind, and like I've mentioned in other videos, Cincinnati, Ohio is literally like 10-15 minutes on a good day north of me. What it is I live equidistant from Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky. As Mad Bad Voodoo would know, Lexington is about 90 minutes south down I-75 from here. Louisville is down I-71 from here, and like I said, it's about an hour and a half approximately, depending on the time of the day, the weather, and the traffic on both. And Lexington and Louisville, in case any of you are curious, are about 90 minutes apart from each other on I-60 or 64, forget offhand. But anyway, I did want to talk about, the fact that there are, and I do have videos about Bobby Mackey's and Waverly Hills here on this page and the earlier videos. And I also wanted to remind you, and I mentioned this in the first video that I uploaded when I talked about, me getting, videos shot again. I have a new webpage that talks about ghosts in Kentucky, and the webpage again is ghostiesinkentucky.weebly.com. And like I said in the first video that I uploaded for this channel this time around, in this video I'm going to include the webpage again just for good measure so you guys can go over and see it. I do want to remind you guys that page is over there in Weebly is still kind of under construction, so like you can run over there and check it. But there is a lot of like stuff from my movie reviewer page, stuff from this page, that you can see, and I want to make comments and different things, and there's like ghost related things on there, and there's like 4 different parts to that web page. So like across the top it'll give you links, like there's the main page, and then there's like 3 other pages with it, so just so you know now. And there's the playlist series that I talked about earlier. The other one, the first one, is on there. I am going to stick this series on there too, so that way, we can include this as well. About Bobby Mackey's Music World and, Ghost Adventures crew. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to go on a little bit more in detail about the Ghost Adventures crew being at Bobby Mackey's. I can't remember offhand if I mentioned in the previous Bobby Mackey's videos that I shot in that first series about Halloween and everything, about how many times they've actually been here to the northern Kentucky area. The Ghost Adventures crew, Zach Bagans, Nick Groff, and Aaron Goodwin, have been here a total of 3 times. 2 of the times have been aired. Okay, One of the times has not been aired, and I actually, if you don't believe me and you want verification of this, there are two ways you can find that information. One is to go to Wikipedia, and the other one is to get the first season when they went in 2009, the first time, because the second time that they were here is in that, gas DVD set. Two of the times aired, one of them did not. The first time aired in 2009. The second time that they were there, that's the one that did not get aired. The reason why it didn't get aired, but they do talk about it in the third time, is because that was part of a whole weekend thing where they were doing a Halloween related thing at Bobby Mackey's that year for Halloween in 2009, and they were talking about different aspects of ghost hunting, and it was a whole seminar on ghost hunting and being careful if you do decide to do that and everything like that. That's what it was talking about mainly in that seminar, and the bits and pieces of stuff that they actually collected that second time that they were at Bobby Mackey, Zach, Nick, and Aaron, that is, they include that in the extras on the DVD set for the first season of Ghost Adventures, if you ever want to watch it. The third time was the other time that they were there in 2010, and Nick got the scratches down his back and what have you, in the basement, and they still go on about that, and they talk about the fact that Aaron's marriage got ruined because of him going and investigating Bobby Mackey's and everything, and they talk about that at length. See, I knew about the event, the seminar event with the ghost hunting crew of Ghost Adventures, and they had the bishop that they talk about in the series as well. He was there. I wanted to go because I wanted to actually meet them, but unfortunately things just happened where I couldn't go to meet them. And I also wanted to meet Bobby Mackey, but like they say, things happen. Stuff happens and it just didn't work out. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, one thing I did want to say, and I didn't want to talk about it in the last video because it has nothing to do with what I was talking about in that last video, but it kind of sort of does now where I'm talking about meeting them. I would, and I've actually told Tony this, I would like to meet Aaron Goodwin. Nothing against Zach and Nick, but Aaron Goodwin cracks me up. And that's part of the reason why I like watching the show. He's actually my favorite out of the three of them, nothing against Zach and Nick. I mean, Zach's, the cute pretty boy is what I call him to Tony. And, Nick's kind of, like the normal, a normal guy, but Aaron's the most normal out of the three of them. No offense, you two, Zach and Nick, but Aaron is the most expressive of the three of them. I watch just to see the looks on that man's face, just because it's he makes some of the craziest faces during the show, and it's I'm and I find myself just cracking up laughing at him, and he's it's just the looks on his face, I mean, and it's just, it's he doesn't fake being scared. If he's really having the tar scared out of him, I mean, the looks, like I said, the looks on that man's face are just funny. Oh, dear God, help all of us. I mean, he is funny. I mean, it's just, he makes some pretty funny expressions. He's and it's just, I really, if I ever had a chance to meet the three of them, I really would like to meet Aaron. That's right up there with, of course, as a side, and on a different note, A&E's got a show called Dog the Bounty Hunter. I've also said that if, I ever go to Hawaii, I'd like to meet Dog and Beth. I would really love to meet Beth Chapman, too. She's another person I'd love, a famous person on a reality show that I'd like to meet. Her and Baby Lisa. I wouldn't mind meeting Dog the Bounty Hunter, but I really want to meet Beth. I really do. And Baby Lisa. Because Beth is one woman that, when I say I know her, it would be no to see her. I mean, I would like to meet her just to talk to her. just because I think that, you know, she is just the most straightforward woman and just strong, powerful woman that I think I've ever seen on television. And I have a really good opinion on her. But anyway, back to, you know, that whole thing. You know, if you want to see more on like the Ghost Adventure stuff, you can go to the travelchannel.com, or, you know, like buy their DVDs or whatever. But yeah, I mean, that was just the whole thing about, you know, the fact that the Ghost Adventures crew had been here 3 times on 3 different occasions within like a year. And in fact, if you pay attention, and this is just an aside, if you know, do like Bobby Mackey's here on YouTube, it'll actually show where, like, they were talking about it on like the local Cincinnati, Ohio channel 12 with like Kid Andrews and Rob Ron and everything. I've seen the videos and everything, and I might include them in with this playlist so you can see them. Alright? Excuse me. Well, anyway, I'm going to pause here because I've got one more thing, and it's kind of sort of related to everything that I've been talking to. And I mentioned something about this other thing that I'm going to talk about in the next video in an earlier video here. It was this last video, alright? So hang on.